And we're live. Gentlemen, welcome to tonight's presentation. Wherever you are in the world, I welcome you to how to build muscle, burn body fat, optimize your hormones, and here's the key, feel fucking fantastic as you get older. I'm looking forward to some of you coming on. Look, if you want to ask a question anytime through the presentation, please do. Drop your question into the chat. If I see it pop up, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. If I see it pop up and it doesn't interact or doesn't interrupt me too much, I'm going to answer it live. If not, I'll go to the Q&A at the end of the session. There's quite a lot to cover here. I want to get through this in about 30 to 40 minutes max. Ideally 30 minutes because you're busy, I'm busy, we're all busy, and I do appreciate your valuable time and attention. All right, guys, let's get into it. So how to build muscle, burn body fat, optimize your hormones, and feel fucking fantastic as you get older. That's what we're talking today, chaps. All right, gentlemen, you want to know if you're in the right room, okay? So this is really talking to men that sort of fit this criteria. So if you resonate or relate to any of these points that I'm going to mention, I know that I'm talking to the right person. So number one, you want to lose 20 pounds or more. Number two, you want to be a great role model for your kids. That's a big one. That's a big one with most of my clients. Number three, you want to feel great with high energy. Okay. Number four, you want to have great sex with your partner. You know what? Some sex would be great, right? And number five, you don't want to be the fat dad in the park. All very, very great points. Do you resonate with any of those, chaps? But we go on. Number six, your career's going well, but you're in a rut with your health. Many of the men that I speak to that come into my program, they say that they're making great money, their career is advancing, their family's going well, but they just can't get a grip of their health and fitness. So this is something we need to really address. Number seven, you've tried many things, but self-sabotage. Hands up if you've tried everything, lost 10 pounds, gained 10 pounds, lost 20 pounds, gained 20 pounds, backwards and forwards. Self-sabotage, and we're going to focus on that. You start highly motivated, but fall off. And maybe you've had a health scare and a wake-up call. Okay, and maybe this is the start, 2023 is going to be the time where I really take control of my health and fitness and get a grip and get back on track. And number 10, the last one, you want to fit back into those handmade suits. And it might not necessarily be suits, but I know that if you've got weight to lose, you've got some clothes in the wardrobe that you haven't thrown away and you're hoping you can get back to them. So let's look at what we can do with all that. Well, some of you will know who I am. If you've seen me on LinkedIn or any other social media platform, you know what I talk about, who I am. I share a lot on, especially on LinkedIn, about who I am, where I've come from. But some of you will be completely new to me and to what I talk about. So I'm going to tell you who I am, where I've come from. So basically going back to 1993, did my degree in exercise sports science. 93, graduated in 96. And then, even though sport and nutrition, and I basically wanted to be a personal trainer to the stars. That was my overall goal from a very young age. I had a complete change of career. Did nothing, not directly to do with sports and nutrition and training, although I did have to stay in shape. Yep, from 96 to 2008, I was a full-time, and I put in exclamation marks, entertainer. And what I mean by that is I was a dancer, I did a bit of acting, I did a bit of modeling, I did a bit of stripping, dare I say. Look, I was full-time. It was a full-time gig for me. Great fun, traveled all over Europe, traveled to every major city in the UK. It was fantastic. But I got to the age of 35 years old in 2008. I said, look, you know what? I've had great fun, great money, lots of travel, all the trimmings, everything you can think of I've done in the last 15, 20 years. Now it's time to take things seriously. So age 35, packed up where I was living. I was living up in Kingsley in Norfolk, moved down to London to work as a personal trainer, which is kind of what I wanted to do and what I was sort of destined to do from about 1996. Worked full-time in the city of London, stone's throw from Gherkin, so Liverpool Street, Moorgate, in a private studio. But first of all, it was a gym, then moved into a private studio. And I was doing anywhere between 30 to 40, sometimes 50 hours a week of one-to-one personal training. And I did that. I actually moved to London in June 2008, and I left the city exactly 10 years to the week in the 2nd or 3rd of June in 2018. And it's when I decided to move my business from one-to-one personal training to what I'm doing now, which is the online coaching model. Those last 4 years, coached over 250 men. There's actually been a couple of hundred women as well, but I'm focusing on you gents to weight loss success. I'm a certified sports nutritionist. That's with the ISSN, which is the International Society of Sports Nutrition, which is the highest accolade of sports nutrition that you can get. Written and featured in Men's Health, Men's Fitness, which is pretty cool. Hello and OK, which is nothing to brag about, but it's true. And the Times newspaper. And I'm a published author with the GHG method. And it's sold, I think it's just over 2,000 copies now. Some of you will have read this. If not, it's a great read. Go and get a copy. My mother said it was the best book she's ever read. She's not biased at all. But it's worth, I think it's 15 quid at Amazon. There you go. There you go. In fact, if you're very nice, I'll probably send you a copy for free. Not really selling it very well. So that's who I am. Obviously, there's more to my life, the last 20 years, but that's a brief overview of the things I've done and why I feel reasonably qualified to talk about this stuff and to help you to get to where you want to go. Right, this is what we're going to focus on. 2 parts to this presentation. Okay. We're going to look at some of the, I'm going to show you the main framework that I use with clients. And this is the framework that helps them lose 20 to 30 pounds in 12 weeks. And some lose a lot more. You know, some are losing over 40, and I've had a couple of people 44, 48, and the record at the moment is 49.5 pounds. So I'm going to show you the main framework, and then we're going to break down 2 areas of that framework and go into a bit more detail and how this relates to fat loss and how it can help you. Okay, so that's the first part we're going to look at. And the second part is what I call 3 secrets or 3 pillars of fat loss, which enables clients to keep the weight off for good. So that's what we're going to focus on. Right, we've got anyone coming in with a chat? Let's have a look. Nope, no one for now. All right, look, at any time, if you like what I talk about in this presentation, I want to give you guys the opportunity to book a free call with me. And this is not a sales call. This is a purely value, and it's going to help you call. It's nothing to sell, but we'll find out where you are with your health, your fitness, what's working, what's not working. And then I'll give you some real answers. Simple as that. I'm going to really break down what's going on, where you need help. And we'll look at some real value, and we'll focus on actually getting you some help. Okay, sorry, it was just someone was trying to call there on my phone. Apologies for that. So go to gavgillibrand.com/apply, drop that into your browser, and you can book a free call anytime you want. So I'm going to drop that into the presentation as we go through a couple of times, but I wanted to put that in there now. So at any time you think, you know what, I like the cut of this guy's jib, I like what he's talking about, I would like to actually have some real help and get to the bottom of what I'm struggling with, please go ahead and book that call. www.gavgillibrand.com/apply. All right, and look, here's some of my testimonials, and there's many more on the website. Again, go to gavgillibrand.com. But I just wanted to highlight a couple of ones that have really stood out to me visually. You can see Mike on the left. I mean, he only lost 22 pounds. Well, I say only 22 in a 12-week period, but the change in his physique was dramatic, absolutely dramatic. As you can see, there's no photoshopping there. That is friend of mine, Mike Austin, did 12 weeks, lost 22 pounds, but changed his whole body composition entirely. Massive change there. Steve lost 38 pounds, which is a phenomenal result in 12 weeks, and actually went on to lose, I think it was 49 or 50 pounds in just over 16 weeks, just shy of 17 weeks. So there's 2 great testimonials there. I'm going to talk about a couple more if you don't mind. Please indulge me. Robin lost 37 pounds in a 12-week period. Mark lost 33 pounds in 12 weeks. Matt lost 30 pounds, one of my favorites. He's actually my financial advisor as well, Matt Lyons. 30 pounds in 12 weeks. And Duncan, who was actually a client I worked with one-to-one back in the city, lost 2 stone in a 12-week period. And there's many, many more testimonials on the website. Now, look, guys, if you want a copy of this presentation and a lot more, you can, two ways. You could go to the website and download this, or if you email me, hello@gavgillibrand.com, I'll send you a free copy. It'll be this presentation and a lot more. It will go into depth and all the different areas that I talk about in my coaching program. So there's an opportunity to get what we're talking about today. Obviously, you're going to get the recording if you signed up for this, and maybe some of you watching this live. But if you want an actual copy of what we're talking about and a lot more detail on nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress management, there's some routines to follow in the gym, there's some stuff to do at home, just please go ahead, email me, hello@gavgillibrand.com, and I will send you a free copy straight away. All right? Brilliant. Right, let's get on to the good stuff. That's the housekeeping out of the way and all the stuff that I wanted to say, but the good stuff about why you're here for this presentation. All right, remember I said we were going to talk about the two areas, and the first part is what I call the fat loss code. This is my 12-week signature program. I'm actually changing it to 16 weeks. I'm actually going to adapt and put another module into this. It's actually going to be 16 weeks long that I work with clients. And there's several reasons which I won't go into, but people are going to get more bang for their buck. So these are the 5 main areas that we focus on that I believe constitutes helping people lose a lot of weight and keeping the weight off for good. So the first area we look at is what I call setting the foundations, and that's diet and nutrition and exercise and movement. They're the two that go hand in hand, okay? Setting the foundations. Then we look at a strong mindset, building a bulletproof mindset, and I'm actually going to focus on that in a bit. The third area that we focus on is sleep and how to get the best sleep. We look at stress management and sex and testosterone. And that's not necessarily having more sex, but it's about feeling sexy and boosting testosterone levels, which again helps with fat loss and energy and mindset and confidence and relationships in every area of your life. Okay. So with that in mind, I'll go back. We're actually going to look at sleep first. And I wanted to give you a few things about sleep. And look, we know that sleep is important. I think it's safe to say, unless you've been living on Mars, we know that sleep, it's very important, but it's very often overlooked in comparison to exercise and nutrition. And if we look at, people say that there's 3 pillars of health: sleep, exercise, and nutrition. I don't believe that to be true. I believe sleep is the base. Sleep is the base that everything should come from. And then diet and nutrition and exercise come off that. They're the pillars, but sleep is the base, okay? And I believe if you could choose one habit to master over anything else in your life to benefit your health and the quality of your life, sleep would be my number 1. So you must optimize it for improving every aspect of your health and life. So I'm going to just talk about a few tips for getting a great night's sleep, okay? So the first one is going to be avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. And if you can, avoid it before midday. Now, a few of you are crying, oh my God, how can I avoid caffeine before midday? Sorry, after midday. You know, a lot of people like to have a second, the third one later on in the day. If you're a bad sleeper, it's one of the best things. It's the first thing we would look at. The caffeine is what we call a half-life of around 6 to 7 hours, depending on the research you look at. And that means that half the caffeine will be in your system 6 to 7 hours later. So if you're a light or poor sleeper, this is going to cause a problem. So if you've got, 2 really strong cups of coffee, last one at 2 o'clock, and there's X amount of milligrams of caffeine, half of that is going to be in your bloodstream so let's say you had the coffee at 4 p.m. Come 10 p.m., half of that is going to still be in your system. The 100, 200 milligrams still floating around your system, it's going to cause a problem, okay? That's my first tip. Second tip, go to bed at the same time every day. It's one of the best ways to regulate the circadian rhythm, which is really, circadian rhythm is our body's internal clock, okay? And we're talking 7 days, not Monday to Friday. Most people tend to get up at the same time or go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time when they're working, Monday to Friday. But I want you to look at 7 days, not just work days and weekends. Look at 7 days of the week and try to go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time. Easier said than done, but it's one of the best things you can do if you're a poor sleeper, okay? Number 3, keep your room cool. 19 degrees is considered optimal for most people. Some people like a little bit warmer, some people like it cooler, but it's been shown from research and all the data suggests this is kind of the optimal for most people. Work out the time, but it definitely wants to be cooler and colder than you think. Okay, your body will generate enough heat under the duvet. It's designed to keep the heat in there, but you want to put your arms out and think this is quite chilly. Okay, that's going to be one of the best things. Great tip. Number 4, eliminate all screen time before bedtime. Okay, the screen time, artificial light, blue light wrecks melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone that's released in the pineal gland that is responsible for making us sleepy. Okay, and it's released when it's dark. So if you're in front of the laptop, like I am now at 8:15, it's going to affect it. So 1 hour, no screen time. That means no laptop. It means no TV. It means no iPhone or Android or whatever you've got. No devices. Nothing. Okay, 1 hour before bedtime. So I know you guys can do maths, but if you're going to go to bed at 10 o'clock, that means 9 o'clock, everything comes off. And ideally, do not take your phone into the bedroom. Okay, put this on charge in your office, in another room, in the living room, wherever, but do not take it into the bedroom. Okay. Number 5, dim your lights. Really simple trick. When you put your phone on charge in the other room, turn the lights down, get rid of the bright lights, turn it down. Your brain thinks it's getting dark, so it will release more melatonin. Okay, there's loads more that we could cover. I could probably spend an hour on each of these different sections, but there's 5 tips that are going to help you for with your sleep. Okie dokie. Right. So we're going to look at we're not doing stress management tonight. We're going to look at sex and testosterone. And this is going to tie nicely into some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about with the 3 pillars. Sex and testosterone. It's a subject that is very often the elephant in the room where people don't want to talk about it. But let's face it, sex is important in a relationship. Husband, wife, partner, I don't know what your setup is, but it's very, very important. But how does this relate to fat loss and improving health? And look, we know that testosterone is the main male hormone, but it's the king of kings. Guys, it's the king of all kings when it comes to hormone in our body. Testosterone is responsible for, let me think, building muscle, burning body fat, optimizing your mood, general health, regulates disease risk, and keeps lead in your pencil. Keeps lead in the pencil, chaps. Low testosterone, you're going to struggle with your erection. Simple as that. When you struggle with your erection, you lose confidence, you're not having sex with your partner, relationship goes down the tubes. It's a massive, massive knock-on effect for everything we do. And the truth is, chaps, as we age, our T levels drop quite significantly. And over the age of 40, we have to do everything we can to minimize this drop and maximize what we have. I'm pushing 50 now, so it's really, really important that we do everything we can, okay? So I'm going to look at 10 things to do to boost and maximize your testosterone, and hopefully this is going to be able to help some of you out there. If some of you are in your 40s or your 50s, you're definitely losing muscle mass, you're definitely gaining body fat, and you're losing your sex drive. As testosterone drops, you lose your libido. So here's 10 things you can do, and it's a mixture of techniques, maybe even some supplements and some lifestyle changes, okay? The best thing you can do, first of all, I would look at if someone had low testosterone or they were struggling with low testosterone symptoms, I would say, are you doing any weight training? And the best ways to boost your T levels is to lift heavy weights 3 or 4 times a week. And if you're not doing any, even once or twice a week, it's going to give you a massive boost. And once you are going, if you are doing weights, currently at the moment, a lot of the guys that come into my program are lifting weights. Maybe they're not doing the best thing that would maximize. You want to be focusing on what we call compound movements. Compound movements are exercises that use 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 5 or more body parts or muscle groups at a time. So for example, a squat, barbell on your back, pretty much uses every muscle in the body, primarily quads, hamstrings, calves, glutes, core, lower back, upper back, traps. It's safer to say what it doesn't do. So things like that, squats, deadlifts, bench press, chin-ups, dips, all these compound movements that use loads of muscle groups, you're going to get the most bang for your buck when it comes to building muscle, helping you burn body fat, which obviously only happens in a calorie deficit, but you're going to really boost your testosterone levels. Okay, this ties nicely back into my previous point, is sleeping 6 to 8 hours a night, ideally 8, but research is showing that some people need a little bit less, but we all need between 6 and 8. And anyone that's habitually getting less than 6 will start to see their T levels drop, their energy goes down, their moods deteriorate, and the mental clarity and focus just gets so much worse. Okay, minimize stress levels. Again, that's one of the big pillars that we focus on in the fat loss code, and we haven't got time to go into detail on that, but we all know that stress affects every area of our life, but it's one of the main culprits for stealing or reducing testosterone levels. Okay, here's the big one, and I know some of you are not going to like this, you kind of know this. I want you to reduce or eliminate alcohol entirely. Now look, my whole philosophy is that you do not need to eliminate alcohol to lose body fat, and that is entirely true, and I'll stand by that. You know, I will live and die on that hill. However, the devil's in the dose. Okay, the devil's in the dose. When I say you don't need to eliminate alcohol, if you're having 2 or 3 drinks, 2 or 3 beers, or a couple of glasses of wine 2 or 3 times a week, is that going to impact your health, your energy, your fat loss, and your performance? Probably not for most people. But if you're having 5 to 7 drinks 3 or 4 nights of the week, absolutely. It's going to reduce your testosterone. It's going to interfere with your sleep. You wake up in the morning feeling groggy, which means you've got lack of energy, which means you tend to overeat or crave sugar and bad food. You go to the gym less, so the devil's in the dose. I think it's actually Andrew Huberman, which I know some of you follow. He actually said more than 2 drinks a week, any more than 2 drinks a week is going to impair you cognitively. So, it really depends on how much you're drinking. So if it's not affecting your life and you can still get to the gym and you feel good and you're sleeping well, maybe you've got it at the right level. And that might only be 1 or 2 drinks once or twice a week. Okay. But if you're drinking more than 10 to 15 units a week, you will see a significant drop in your testosterone levels. That's not to say in your early 20s and 30s you can't build muscle and burn body fat. I know for a fact that you can drink pretty heavily and still get great results. But when you're 40, when you're 50, when you're older than that, we absolutely need to keep an eye on that. Okay. And there's no upsides to alcohol. It's fun, but it's a depressant and makes us gain weight and all the negative side effects of booze. So just be careful with that. Okay. On to eating a diet rich in quality fats. So saturated fats and essential fatty acids, omega-3s, things like fish oil, oily fish, salmon, mackerel, herring, anything like that. Great thing for boosting testosterone levels. Here's the big one. Get some sun. Now, if you live in Northern Europe, even in the summer, it's unlikely to get the levels that we need to boost vitamin D levels. You'd have to sunbathe naked for a couple of hours a day to really get the quality and the amount of sun that we need. So I would suggest that most people, if they're living in Europe, even Northern Europe for sure, need to supplement with vitamin D. Quality vitamin D or high levels of vitamin D are shown to boost testosterone levels. A couple more: avoid pollution, and that comes from smoking, from pollution outside, from factories, from car pollution, things like that, or just pollution in general, being shown to low T levels. Avoid BPAs and estrogenic compounds, so plastics and I can't think of the thing that you wrap things in the fridge. Cellophane, is it cellophane? I can't think of the term. But be careful of plastics leaching into your food. They really do reduce testosterone. And boosting testosterone, daily laughter. I know that sounds a bit, okay, does it really? But look, go and compare how many times you laugh as an adult compared to a child. I've got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old in bed at the moment, but I was just looking at them the other day, and they literally laugh all day long. They're joking around, messing around. Laughter is one of the biggest boosters, just for not necessarily testosterone, for our own mood, for optimum mood and happiness. Just try and laugh. Look, I know life gets serious, and there's a lot of shitty things going on in life, but at the moment. But if we can look at things through the best tinted glasses that we possibly can and laugh wherever we can. It's a big thing to boost testosterone. And here's the big one: have more sex. The irony is when T levels are low, we tend to not want sex and have that much sex. But when we do have sex, it boosts the testosterone. So it's almost like the opposite of a vicious cycle. The positive cycle going up. When you have more sex, you want to have more sex, you get confident, you boost your T levels, which means you feel better, you go to the gym, you eat better, you sleep better, you want more sex. So it's almost a knock-on effect. It's a win-win. All right, so there's my top 10 things to boost and maximize your testosterone. Hope you got something out of those, guys. Well, look, as I said, there's the 2 areas that I wanted to cover from the 5. We haven't got time to go into all of them, but I just wanted to give you cling film. Tom, thank you very much. Couldn't think, just couldn't think. Seen you pop up. Thanks for that. I was like, what is that? I just couldn't think. Anyway, so sex and testosterone and sleep. Right, moving on, my friends, moving on. So there was the first part was the code to fat loss. The first part I wanted to look at. The second part I wanted to look at was what I call the 3 pillars of fat loss. Number 1, what I believe is the big failure in the health and fitness industry. Okay. Number 2, touched on it before, building a bulletproof mindset and how this is absolutely imperative. You can have all the mechanics in place, controlling your food, exercise, but unless you've got a bulletproof mindset, this is what lets people down. So we absolutely have to have this. And number 3 ties very nicely into boosting testosterone, which I talked about, recovering virility, getting that sex life back again, and feeling like a man. Okay. All right, so let's look at number 1 to start with. The big failure in the health and fitness industry. Okay, and this is what most diets don't do. This is the problem, where most diets have got a start and an end date, which means in that period, whether it's 12 weeks or 16 weeks before a wedding or before an event or before something, there's a date when someone starts and there's a date when they finish, which means they tend to exercise a lot in that period and change their diet radically, whether it could be keto or high protein or low fat or South Beach or vegan, or there's about 100 different commercial diets out there at the moment. And the problem with this is that they tend to be eliminate foods that we think we shouldn't have on a diet. So the first thing we want to look at is you have to have foods you enjoy. And if you ask most people, if I was to ask 9 out of 10 people now about the last diet they went on, they would tell you that it was avoided carbs, sugar, eliminated alcohol, and it sucked all the life out of everything. Okay, that's not what dieting or losing body fat's about. You have to have foods that you enjoy. You have to keep some of the good stuff in there, otherwise you won't stick to it. The reason why people say diets fail is because they can't stick to it. 1, they don't get results because they don't know what they're doing, but they can't stick to it. So what I want to show people is you've got to have foods you enjoy, which includes carbs, sugar, and alcohol. Devil's in the dose. Remember I talked about that before. Devil is in the dose when it comes to alcohol, but you don't need to get rid of any of those things. Okay. Number 2, there's no restriction, elimination of any food groups. Anyone tells you they need to cut out carbs, walk away very slowly from them. Just turn away and just walk. Losing body fat has got nothing to do with eliminating carbs or sugar. This is why I believe keto can just fucking run and do one, as far as I'm concerned. Keto works. It's great for fat loss, but it's not sustainable for most people. It's just not sustainable for most people. Hands up if you want to eat less than 20 grams of carbs per day for the rest of your life. And I always tell people, don't do anything in this period of dieting when you're trying to lose weight that you can't see yourself doing for the rest of your life. Okay, 20 grams of carbs, by the way, is about an apple. So if you want to spread an apple over the day, good luck with that. Look, some people are a fan of keto, okay, and there's no doubt it works because all diets work with one mechanism, a calorie deficit. Keto, vegan, South Beach, you name the other 100, they all work with the same mechanism. You have to be burning more calories than you're taking in. So it's a case of just choosing what works for you. But for most of my clients, and for me, and for most of the people I know, eliminating carbs is not going to be the way forward. Okay, so you've got to have 1, you've got to have foods you enjoy. Don't count all the good stuff. 2, no restricting, eliminating food groups like carbs, or, for example, carnivore diet, Will carnivore diet help you lose weight? Absolutely. Is it that healthy? For some people, it could be. But do you not want to ever have carbs again? Do you just want to eat protein fats? Maybe you do. But good luck with that when you go to a shop, a sandwich shop. Good luck on your carnivore diet. Do you want to be prepping your own food all day long, every day? Probably not. Okay. Foods you enjoy, no restriction elimination. Number 3, is it easy to prepare? Is it cost effective? And a big one, are you eating the same foods that everyone else in the family is eating? Because if you're not, good luck with staying with that. Okay. Imagine now you come home from work. I don't know who cooks food in your environment, whether you cook, whether your wife cooks, mixture of both. But let's say you come home from work as a gent and your wife has cooked dinner. I'm not being sexist, but let's say this time she's cooked dinner and you're on the carnivore diet and you're sitting there with your 2 or 3 kids and they're looking at you going, what the fuck's daddy eating? Good luck with staying on that. It's not going to happen. You've got to be eating the same foods that everyone else is. Okay. And there's no need. What I show people is to enjoy the same foods that your wife's eating, the same foods that your kids are eating. We're just going to control the amount of calories that you put into your mouth. That's the key. Okay, that's number 3. Number 4, is it sustainable? Is there some long-term sustainability, not just for 12 weeks? Can you see yourself doing this for 12 months? Can you see yourself doing this for 12 years? Can you see yourself eating like this forever? What I show people is this is not a diet. It's just the way you eat. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. And it all comes down to this. I touched on it just a second ago. A calorie deficit. And this is my definition. And there's various definitions, but they all mean the same. Calorie deficit is where you eat fewer calories than you burn or burn more calories than you consume. And fat loss is simply staying there for as long as you can whilst maintaining every other area of your life. Okay, anyone can get into a calorie deficit. Someone could come into my program and I could say, go and eat 1,000 calories a day. I'll see you in 12 weeks. I guarantee that person will be 30, 40 pounds down if they could get there, but it's not sustainable. So we have to get you into what I call the sweet spot. And the sweet spot is where you burn just a little bit more than you're taking in, but then you have those 5 things. Foods you enjoy, no restriction elimination, easy to prepare, sustainable long term. Can you see yourself eating like this for good? So a calorie deficit whilst having those 5 things. And that's what I believe is the biggest failure in the health and fitness industry, because typical diets have none of those and they don't even show you what a calorie deficit is. You have to have a calorie deficit, otherwise none of this works. All right, pillar number 2, chaps, building a bulletproof mindset. Okay. Number 1, discipline, not motivation. Number 2, a massive reason why. And number 3, behavior change coaching, which is effectively what I am doing with all of my clients and why they get such great results. Okay, discipline, not motivation. Everyone says, Gav, I just need to be motivated. I just need to be motivated. I know what to do. I just need to be motivated. Well, that's a lie to start with, because if you knew what to do, you'd have done it by now. So don't say that. Because if you knew what to do, you'd be doing it right now. Okay, you don't know what to do, or you don't know how to stay what you do, doing what you're doing. So discipline, we want to focus on discipline, which means habits. Okay, we want to focus on habits because motivation is finite. Motivation is great when you've slept well, there's money in the bank, you had sex with your wife the night before, your boss is not being a fucking idiot. Great, get up at 5 a.m. before the kids go to bed. I'm motivated to get to the gym. It'll get you started, but it won't get you finished. Discipline is freedom. Absolutely, Simon, who's popped in there. Discipline is freedom. Absolutely. But discipline habits is what's going to get you there. Okay, so not motivation. We need a little bit of motivation to get started, but discipline. So it's building those habits into your routine that's going to get you there. And really, discipline is doing the things that you need to do when you don't want to do them. So imagine saying, I'm only going to go to the gym when I feel motivated. Well, good luck with that. On a normal week, I go to the gym every day, and I don't say that to brag or to boast or to impress you. I just say that's what I do because I like to do some type of movement every day. But bearing in mind, I'm 49 years old, and it's taken me well over 30 years to get to that level of discipline. Go to the gym every day. before 7 a.m. before the kids get up. I occasionally have a day or two off once a week, once every 2 or 3 weeks. But I go every day. If it's discipline, I get up, the alarm goes off at 5. Probably 3 of those days out of 7, I do not want to go to the gym. But I don't listen to the whiny little bitch in my head saying, don't go to the gym, put the laptop on, do some work, grab a cup of coffee. I've got my kit out. Regardless of how I feel, I'm just going. I'm sitting there and putting my clothes on. I don't want to go to the gym, but I know once I get there, I'm going to feel great. Get in the car. I'm in the car at 5:30. I'm at the gym at 20 to 6. That's the discipline. So I'm not waiting to be motivated. The only time I won't go, let's say my sleep was completely devastated and I had less than 3 or 4 hours sleep, then I would think, well, is it wise to actually do this? But if I'm just a bit tired or got a bit of a sore shoulder or something, I go to the gym and get it done. So putting habits and discipline is going to get you there. That's what about building a bulletproof mindset is, and that's what we focus on in the coaching. Here's number 2, a massive reason why. And this is the biggest thing. You can, have all the what I call the mechanics in place. Mechanics are controlling your calories, getting you to a calorie deficit, exercising, sleeping, all those different things that we talked about, the mechanics. But unless you've got a massive reason why, when things go tits up, when you're not motivated and you don't feel disciplined or you're not, sticking to your habits, if you haven't got a massive reason why, you're always going to take the easy route. Now, a massive reason why is the difference between, I want to lose a few pounds before the summer. Okay. If I was to ask 100 people right now who wants to lose weight, 99 of them would put their hands up. But probably only 10% or 15% of them have got a real serious, decent reason why. And that means get my sex life better, improve my sleep, lose 40 pounds, get back into my clothes, get a promotion, save my marriage, not be the fat dad in the park, be around for the grandkids, be around for the next 10 years. That's a massive reason why. Losing a few pounds before the summer is not going to cut it. So discipline, habits mixed with a massive reason why is going to propel people forward. So the first 2 modules that I teach in the coaching program is I ask people to stop the video and email me 10 things that they're going to achieve when they achieve their weight loss goal, and give me the real reason why they want to achieve that. I actually get them to do it, and everyone emails this to me. And we talk about discipline and building habits, small habits every single day, regardless of motivation. And that kind of leads me to number 3. And all of that really is behavior change. Look, I'm working with responsible adults. Well, I think they're responsible. If they're in 40s and they're married, you've got kids, they probably have some type of responsibility in life. I don't need to tell them what to do. They actually tell me what they're going to do. I'll give you an example of this. We have a group coaching call. Simon, I'm going to come to your question in a sec. What are your thoughts on intermittent fasting? If you don't mind, let me just finish this piece and I'll come to that in a sec. That's a good question. I'm a big fan of intermittent fasting, actually. At the end of the group coaching call every Monday, everyone's in their check-in. They tell me what's working, what's not working. There's one question that I ask everyone, and this is an absolute game changer. When I started bringing this in about a year and a half ago, I went from getting good results to absolutely fucking fantastic results. I'd say, for example, I use Simon, let's say, who's on the coaching group. Simon, what are your goals and intentions for the next 7 days? And there's only one answer with 3 parts that I'm interested in. I want to know how many calories he's going to aim for every day. I want to know how many grams of protein he's going to hit and how many times he's going to move his body. Those 3 are the only things that are going to move the needle forward. Now, you could say, well, I'm going to get to bed on time, I'm going to drink water, I'm going to do all those other things. That's great. But unless we control the calories and move our body and get protein up there, it's irrelevant. So it gives me the answers to those 3. That's the first part. And this is where the behavior change coaching comes in. I then say to them, is there any reason why you can't make that happen over the next 7 days? And the only word, the one word answer I'm looking for is the word no. So when he says no in front of me, in front of 10 other people and himself, his adherence level goes from there through the roof because it's become his truth. If I say to Simon, okay, Simon, what I want you to do is I want you to hit 2,000 calories, 150 grams of protein, get to the gym 4 times. I know you're super busy, just suck it up, don't be a pussy, get to the gym. He might come off the call and say, you know what, fucking hell, he's telling me what to do. I can't commit to that. I can't do that. But when he tells me what he can do, regardless of what's going on in his life, if he's got a crazy life, maybe he can go to the gym twice. If he's got time, maybe he can get 4 times. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get that done. I'm going to get this done. Is there any reason why you can't make that happen over the next 7 days? He says no. Guess what? 9 times out of 10, he's going to smash that. He's going to come back and he's going to lose a few pounds. And that's what I mean by behavior change coaching, guys. So building bulletproof mindset. All right, moving on to, we're going to do pillar 3, but we're going to quickly look at Nick's testimonial. Exact quote from Nick: I don't want my sons to be embarrassed by me as the fat dad at baseball. Nick lost 44 pounds in 12 weeks. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, that's probably too much. It seems a lot. You know what? It is a lot. I'm not going to lie. Most clients won't lose 44 pounds. Having said that, I had 4 in 2022 lose 44 pounds, or 40 pounds or more. 2 at 44, 1 at 46, and 1 at 49 and a half. Gary, Scotsman, which is the record, by the way. Not that there's a competition, but it's not the norm. Anyway, I just wanted to pop that in. I'd forgotten to put that in from Nick. All right, guys. Here's that slide again. If you want to talk to me anytime, if you've enjoyed what we talked about, book your free 15-minute body diagnostics call. Okay, go to gavgillibrand.com/apply, get that call booked in, and I'll chat to you soon. All right, and if you want a free copy, please email me at hello@gavgillibrand.com. Free copy, you're thinking, if you're coming to this presentation late, free copy of what? One, some of what I've talked about in this presentation tonight, the live. We're at 45 minutes, so I want to keep it, close it down in a second. But it's more advanced, and it will break down all of these areas. Let me go back to them. Setting the foundations, which is diet, nutrition, training, strong mind, bulletproof mindset, sleep, stress management, sex and testosterone. It'll break all of those down in more detail. Just email me and I'll gladly get a copy over to you. All right, guys, I'll finish with that. Quickly go to some of the questions, if that's all right. Yeah, cling film from Tom. Tom's wrapped in it now. Awesome. Simon, what are your thoughts on intermittent fasting? I'll put that on the screen, actually. Oh, wrong one. There we go. What are your thoughts on intermittent fasting? Yeah, it's great. It's just another tool to help people get into a calorie deficit, Simon, to be fair. It's no better or any worse than any other. For some people, it's great. You know, the typical schedule for intermittent fasting is 16-8, or there's various other sort of protocols where, you know, you fast, say, from 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. the next day, and then eat in an 8-hour window, which you may well have done. But if you're eating, it doesn't matter if you spread your calories over 24 hours or an 8-hour window. If you're eating the same calories, you're going to get the same result. Now, there is some research showing the benefits of time-restricted feeding, okay? But the jury's still out on whether that actually makes any difference in terms of fat loss, which is what we're talking about. Intermittent fasting is just another way of helping people get into a calorie deficit. I personally have my breakfast around about 10, then lunch about 2, and we're having dinner at 6 or 7, sometimes a snack before I go to bed. But really what matters is total calories and grams of proteins, what I'm really, really interested in. Now, if anyone else is on there has got any more questions, I'll gladly take them. If not, we're going to wrap it, guys. So 2 things. If you want a free copy of the cheat sheet, please email me, hello@gavgillibrand.com, or if you want to book a call, I'd love to chat to you. Not a sales call. Keep your credit card in your pocket. Just value. I'll find out where you are, how much weight you want to lose, what's your obstacles, what's stopping you, and we'll give you a game plan. We'll go into more detail about the calorie deficit, how that works, how we factor that into your life, and I'll give you some answers. Okay? Any questions? Any final questions? If not, we're going to wrap it. I said 45 minutes. It's coming up to exactly 45 minutes. I'm going to wait. There's a 10-second countdown to 45 minutes. I'm going to wait till then and I'm going to sign off. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed tonight. Hope you've got some value. If you're on live, awesome. I'm going to send out the recording to everyone that registered for the live, so you'll get a chance to catch up. I shall see you all soon. All the best.